Welcome to our strength session today. So in terms of equipment, I have got a couple of things. A resistance band, but this is optional, but if you have it, grab it. I've got 2 blocks. This is just for a little step for split squats, which we'll be doing today. So if you do need elevation for that, that's also just an option. And you can use a coffee table or something a little bit higher as well. This is just if you have limited ankle mobility. I've got a little bit of weight here, so I've just got a couple of options. Just grab whatever you have in terms of some light to medium kettlebells or dumbbells. All right, that's it. Let's jump in with our warm-up. So we're starting actually down on the mat today. So coming down into an all fours position. Nice, so just stacking shoulders over wrists and hips over knees. You can just have a little, let's just have a little wriggle for a second. Just taking some little circular motions through the spine and perhaps forward and back, just to feel everything kind of loosening up a little bit there. Okay, then settling into a more still position, and we're taking our deep diaphragmatic breath with core connection. So 360-degree breath, inhaling belly, sides and back of the ribs. Feel that expansion, and then exhale. Just let it softly come out, no contraction. Inhale again, nice and deep. Exhale. Really focusing on the back, especially here. Like someone has their hands there, trying to push them away. Last one. Exhale. Okay. Just maintaining that nice sort of stacked position with the rib cage. So rib cage towards the pelvis rather than dumping down or tucking under. And we're taking core and pelvic floor activation. Inhale. Exhale, hugging belly button back, gentle lift of the pelvic floor, and release on the inhale. Exhale, gentle activation, belly button back, and release. Really want to feel that wrapping motion. Last one, exhale. And release. Nice, just come back onto the knees for a moment. Release that, belly soft again. Roll the shoulders back. Coming back into all fours. Now let's take some cat-cow positions. So chest coming down towards the floor. Gentle arch through the low back. And then press the ground away. Really focusing on scooping that tailbone under. Rounding through the shoulder blades. And again, slight arch through the back, chest towards the floor, shoulder blades drop. One more time, rounding, press the ground away, scoop the tailbone under, get that real rounding to the lower back as well. And coming back to all fours. Let's take some little side bends here. So right foot is going to come out. Gazing back towards that right foot, and then bring it all the way back over the left side and crunching into that left side body. Right side and over to the left and back down. Then the left leg, left toes kickstand out, take the gaze back and really crunch into that left side. And then kick it over the right leg and looking over the right shoulder. Nice, breath is just moving steadily, no breath holding or clenching. Over to the other side and back to the start. Taking some thread the needles now. Let's start on the right side. So keeping the hips nice and even. Let's take the right arm up towards the ceiling. Really get that rotation through the T-spine and then scooch it all the way down, touch the shoulder to the floor. And again, all the way up. Thread it through. And back to all fours, other side. Left arm up to the ceiling, gazing up, pressing that right hand firmly down into the floor and then threading through. And again, left arm up towards the ceiling, really feel that rotation through the chest and thread it through. Nice. And coming back to neutral. Lovely. Next we have some hip cars. So we're getting into the hips. If you do have pelvic pain at all, then these might be a little bit aggravating. So I want you to keep the circles very low and the range of motion small. Let's start on the right side. So lifting that right knee out to the side. Now I'll show you the first one's very small because we can all use that to warm up anyway. And then making this small little circle with the knee in this clockwise direction. Now we want the shoulders and the hands to be pressing evenly into the floor. And this does switch the core on quite a bit too. So exhaling through the hardest part of the movement as you lift the knee up. If that's feeling okay, you can make the circle a little bit bigger. Nice, one more, and we'll change direction. So now anti-clockwise, and you can start again with that small circle and keep them small the whole time if you do have any of that pelvic pain, even if it's mild at the moment, just being careful with it. Okay, and then making the circle a little bigger. One more. And rest it down straight over to the other side, resetting, stack that rib cage again, and then little circles, this time starting in that anti-clockwise direction. Breathing, even and steady, and using that exhale to really be mindful of that core engagement. If you like, make the circles a little bigger, moving with control. And now changing direction. Nice, a little bigger here. Feel everything stabilizing and rocking. Beautiful, come down. Okay, tucking the toes under. Let's activate through the feet. Coming back into that toe set. Feel that opening through the toes. Then just staying there for a moment, come out, untuck the toes, come onto the tops of the feet and see if you can exhale first, protect the core a little bit, and then lift the knees to stretch out the front of the feet. Just a couple of times there, tuck under. Feel that stretch through the whole sole of the foot and into the toes. Rocking forward, untuck, and pressing up that stretch through the front of the foot. Lovely. Coming back into the toe sit, let's come all the way up to stand, bringing one foot out in front in our lunge position. Words are failing me. Exhale, and coming all the way up. Okay, before we move into our strength circuit today, just bringing your awareness back to the feet, lift the toes, spread them down into the floor. Now, I want you to think of this tripod base, which is so important, especially today we're doing a lot of single leg work, so that becomes even more important. Okay, big toe, little toe, heel. Think of that tripod that is pressing down into the floor. Okay, I really want you to cement that in before we move into our circuit today. Okay, let's get started. Our first movement today is a split squat. So this one, this is where you might need a little bit of elevation. This is not much. Actually, I'm just gonna go like that for the foot, but this is especially if you do have limited ankle mobility. You'll know that because when we do it, you won't be able to keep your heel down. So you might need something a little bit higher than this, but can have a play around. If you do have any pubic symphysis dysfunction or pain, then there'll be an alternative for you in the box here, which will be a banded crab walk or just banded squats. Okay, so taking one foot up onto the step or the bench. Now, this is where our foot positioning becomes very important. Big toe, little toe, heel. Really keep that dialed in. Rib cage is tucked down. Now, unlike a lunge where we're going up and down, we're coming forward, knee coming over the toe and back up. Really try and keep that front heel down. We're doing 8 per side. So hips square to the front, exhaling as you come out of the squat. So back leg is there, but just to support. It's not fully bent and coming down towards the floor. That's 3. You can absolutely hold a weight for this one. 4, 5, we've got 8, 6, controlled on the way down, 7, and 8. Okay, balance can be tricky in that one. You can just keep a shorter stance and a wider stance. Other side, straight over. Big toe, little toe, heel, lock it in. Straight leg to start, coming down, hips square to the front, knee over to the toe. 1, 2. Ideally, we're making contact the thigh to the calf. You can work up to that. 3, 4. Nice. Keep that foot stability. 5, 6, 7, 8. So these single leg work really shows up asymmetries in each side. Definitely that's my weaker side. All right, moving on from that one to our B stance RDL. So for this one, grabbing a weight, I'm gonna use my 10 kilo dumbbell today. So this is similar to a single leg RDL if you've ever done those. Well, but as you can see, balance can be a really difficult element to those. So this is essentially a single leg RDL, but with a kickstand for support. So this back leg is really just there as a kickstand. We want 90% of the weight in the working leg. Okay, holding onto your weight in the opposite hand, and we're coming down and back up. Beautiful. Slow on the way down, hips square to the front, and up. We've got 6 per side. 3, rib cage stacked. 4, 5, and 6. Beautiful. Switch it over. Right leg forward, left leg behind, supporting. Big toe, little toe, heel. I'm going to harp on about that. Rib cage stacked. And down. Nice long spine. Bum going back. 2, 3. Hopefully you're feeling that hamstring on the working leg. 4, 5, last one. And 6. Lovely, leaving the weight there. All right, next we have our floor press. So this one, if you've only got one weight, then I'll show you that. And if you do have your 2 dumbbells or kettlebells, then have those ready. Coming all the way down on your side and onto your back. We want feet flat on the floor. Now, lower back is neither pressed into the floor like this or really arched. Just a comfortable position there. Again, if we stack the rib cage properly, pelvis will look after itself. So I'm going to show you an option with one weight first, if I can get it. So your option with one weight will be have it here, exhale, press overhead, and slowly back down. You'll do all your reps on one side before switching over to the other side. If you've got two weights, then very gracefully getting them ready beside you. And we're doing 10 total. If you're doing single, then try for 10 on each arm. Okay, and we're going exhale, all the way overhead, slow down, elbows by the side. Just tap the floor. 2, 3, using that exhale to switch on the core. 4, 5, halfway. 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't let that rib cage flare. Last one. And 10. Beautiful. Bring your weights down safely. Unlike me. Roll over onto your side. Lovely. And we just have our rows to finish our first round here of our circuit. So again, you can do this if you've got 1 or 2 weights. Coming up. So staggered stance, bent over row. If you have a bench or a table, then you can absolutely do this leaning knee and hand on a bench, and you'll be rowing with this arm. I'm just going to do a staggered version today, which you won't need any more equipment. So you can either be quite narrow stance, especially with any pubic symphysis, or you can be a little bit wider. It's really just what you find comfortable. The main things here, nice long spine, so we're not rounding and pulling from here. And on the exhale, we switch on and the hips aren't open. They're nice and closed. We have 10 per side. So shoulder down away from the ear. Exhale, pulling back to the hip. 1, 2, 3. As you come up, try not to open out, okay? Keeping the chest face towards the floor. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch it straight over. Got 10 on the other side. Prepare your stance. Shoulder down away from the ears, chest towards the floor, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, engage that core, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Lovely. Coming down. Okay, that is round 1. 1 minute break, grab a sip of water, move around, have a little rest, and we'll get into our second one. If you are stopping there today, then awesome. Getting in 1 round of that circuit is a workout in itself. I am definitely out of breath and my body's working, so well done. Please gauge your energy and how you are feeling with your symptoms, and do not feel like you have to push through. First trimester can be quite difficult for a lot of people. It was for me. So please be mindful of that and honor what your body needs. We've got 20 more seconds rest if you're joining us for the next round, and we'll be starting with our split squats. Okay, now that you kind of know what's coming, what to expect, then if you do want to add weight to this, you absolutely can. I will just make sure I don't trip over my weights. Please be careful. Okay, preparing. Right foot up. You can absolutely do these on the floor as well. You do not have to use elevation, but I find most people do have some ankle mobility restrictions. Okay, we've got 8 reps here. Big toe, little toe, heel, and 1, 2, really push strongly out of the bottom, use that exhale. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, stack the rib cage, and 8. Switch it over. Setting up well. Remember to set up the right width and stance for your balance as well. Hips face the front, foot grounded, and let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one more, 8. Good job. Not sure if I'm regretting that use of weight. I mean, I am regretting it, but it's done. All right, we have our B stance RDLs. Preparing for that. We've got 6 per side of these. So I'm going to start with my left foot forward, weight in the right hand, and hip square to the front. Inhale down, exhale up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, switch it straight over. Little bend through that knee, 90% of the weight through the front. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, last one, 6. Lovely. Setting my weights up there for our floor press. Okay, coming down through a lunge position and those, rolling down on your side and setting up for our floor press. See if I can do it a little more gracefully this time. As you are getting your weights, just being mindful of the core as well. Just using that exhale as you set up. Okay, rib cage stacked, shoulders away from the ears, and we've got 10. Exhale up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slow down, fast up, 7, 8, whew, nearly there, last 2, keep the elbows in, 9, and 10. Lovely. Okay, rolling over, coming up, and we've got rows, and then we'll be done with our second round. Okay, we have got 10 rows per side. So let's start with left foot forward, right leg back, or you're leaning over your bench. Hip square, long spine. Use that front knee to lean on. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that little pause at the hip, 8, elbows in, 9, and 10. Switch it straight over, right foot forward, set up your stance, exhale, bring the weight up. And we've got 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Use that exhale. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That down. Okay. Second round. Let's have another 1 minute rest before we do our third round. Just checking in with how you're feeling. And this is where it's really good to start to develop those listening skills, listening to the body, to actually check in and go, okay, that was enough. I'm actually wrecked today. It was enough for me just to turn up. I'm good, I'm done. Or have a little bit more in the tank. I'm feeling energized and feeling into it. I can keep going. And then checking in with all those other little things, any symptoms, etc. Probably can't ignore those ones. Okay. We've got about 10 more seconds left, and then we'll be starting with our split squat. So just starting to get ready for that. Okay. So I'm going to start right foot forward, setting up, making sure you feel balanced and ready before you start moving. Big toe, little toe, heel. I'll keep saying it. And we've got 8. Rib cage down. 1, 2, knees over the toes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. I'm feeling this. I am feeling this. Okay, big toe, little toe, heel. Setting up. 8 on this side. 1, 2, a little more unstable for me this side. 3, 4, 5, keep the breath steady and even. 6, 7, 8, wobbling the last one. Do you hear my knee crack? Okay, popping that one down. We've got B stance RDLs, and we are getting close to the end. All right, setting up. I'm doing left foot forward, really setting my feet first. And we've got 10. Oh, we've got 6. Thought I'd add a few extras on. And 1, 2, really hinging, long spine. 3, 4, 5, one more, and 6, switch it over. And 1. Yeah, we do not want to round the back, not need to give any more reasons. 3, for the body to develop back pain. 4, growing baby is plenty enough with relaxing. 5, and 6. Nice. Our 2 upper body movements to go. Coming down, getting those ones ready. And over onto the back. Just take a little second here. Okay, we've got 10 of these. Exhaling to support the core as you set up. Okay, ribcage stacked, shoulders down. We've got 10. 1, 2, elbows in. 3, 4, 5. Exhale up. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Slow on the way down. Okay, we've got rows. We are nearly there. Those there, coming up. All right, I'm starting left foot forward. Exhale, shoulder down the back, scapula down. And we've got 10. 1, to the hip. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Switch it straight over, right foot forward, left foot back. Nice long spine. And to the hip. 1, elbow in. Use that exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway. 6, 7, 8, little pause at the hip. 9, and 10. Well done. If you were doing 3 rounds with me, you made it to 3 rounds. If you are continuing on, then enjoy. And I'll be moving into our accessory and core work now if you're joining me for that. Okay, our first exercise, we'll be using, well, option to use a band for the harder version of this. And if you've got a long band, you'll just loop it round 3 times. We want it to be a small circle. If you do happen to have a small like booty band kind of band, then that would be a bit easier than having to do that. But that is an optional one anyway. So this one, this can be quite strong on the core. If you are getting towards sort of, you know, end of first trimester, and you are starting to feel like it is more difficult to manage load through the core, then you'll just be extra mindful of this one. I like to lean back on my elbows here for this one, but if it's more comfortable for you, you can be up here on the hands. Okay, so similar to a tabletop position, exhale. We're going to bring one leg in and both legs in. From here, we're going to push one, let's do the right out, so exhale, whilst keeping the left where it is. Let's do 10. And we're alternating, we'll alternate sides for this one. 2, 3, being really mindful of that midline. If you see any bulging, doming. 4, 5, 6, exhale is really important here. 7, 8, and that activation. 9, and 10. Have a little rest there, just coming out. So that'll be the first option. And the second option is using the banded version. So it's quite a bit harder. If that felt like enough on the core, you'll stop there and repeat that one again. Otherwise, we're taking the band around the feet and we're doing the same thing with resistance. So coming down, hands or elbows, whatever felt better. and then exhale into that starting position. The exhale is especially important now that we've got more resistance on the band. So let's do 10. Pressing away, keeping, this time we won't alternate unless you're doing option 1. 2, really keeping an eye on that midline. 3, 4, 5, switch it over. 1, 2, 3. This is great for hip flexors as well. 4, nearly there. And 5. Beautiful. Coming down. Lovely. And coming all the way back up. Okay, we'll leave that one there. Next we have our farmer's carry again. So coming back up to standing. And optional for this one, so suitcase carry, which will be one-sided, or have 2 weights in both hands to do a double, especially if you do have pubic symphysis pain. Then the double, it just gives your body a bit more balance for the pelvis than really trying to avoid that anti-rotation with the one side. Okay, this doesn't need to be a heavy weight, especially we've just done quite an intense session in our strength circuit. So I'm going to start my left hand today, or you've got your double weights. We're doing 1 minute on each side or 2 minutes total with the double. Okay, let's begin. So I'm just going to walk around my house, just back and forth. I mean, you can walk around your house or if you're outdoors. Here, I want the rib cage to be stacked. No rib cage flaring. And do not let the weights pull your pelvis out of alignment. Nice and symmetrical. Weight is slightly off the body, not resting on the legs. And we're avoiding or resisting that pull of the weights. Nice. Breathing. Nice and steady. Keeping that core engagement. Standing up nice and tall without flaring the ribs. Doing really well. Nearly time to switch. Just 5 more seconds. Okay, let's switch it straight over. Or if you've got the double and you need to have a little set down, then do. If you can, just keep going. Steady breathing. Just really focusing on that rib cage position. This is our last work for today. Nearly there. Last few seconds and rest that one down. Beautiful. Let's come down to the floor and have a few releasing breaths. So just come into a comfortable position for you. We've done quite a bit of strength, intense strength work today. So we want to release and relax, not leave with any tension in the body. So a little bit of a shake overhead. Shoulders roll back, shoulders roll forward. And diaphragmatic breathing. We've got 3 with a sighing out breath. Inhale. Again, inhale. Really get into those back ribs as well. Last one, breathing in. And lovely. Hope you enjoyed today's session and I'll see you really soon. Bye.